So last talk, we'll try to keep it short and peppy. I'm actually, this is probably the most excited I've been to talk at the CME, mostly because this is one of those topics that, you know, I bump into people and they're like, what is this whole FPIES thing? What is going on with FPIES? And so I'd like to share with you what I've learned from taking care of FPIES patients now here in the Northwest. It was one of those things I never asked to take care of these patients. They found me. But what's really great is it's a really tight-knit community of people that are getting virtually no answers from really amazing doctors that know their stuff. Bottom line is nobody really understands this condition, so I'm going to tell you everything I've learned, and hopefully we can all learn together. So the objectives here are to, I guess I don't need two mics. Okay. So the first thing I really want to do is make sure that you guys understand just how challenging this condition is for families, and understand what families and these kids have to go through when they're dealing with FPIES so that we can all meet them where they're at. And then the second thing is to discuss a framework of how to actually get them to grow, how to get them nourished, and how to get them liking food. So FPIES, food protein induced enterocolitis syndrome. So the first thing to think about is that this is actually an allergy. And you know, if we're getting semantic-y, allergy really refers to an immune reaction to food, okay? Most people in the room, we'll talk more about this in a second, think about allergies like an IgE-mediated anaphylaxis. You eat a peanut, your throat closes up, you go to the emergency room. FPIES is an immune reaction to allergy. It does something a little bit different, which we'll get into in a second. And like all allergies, one can only be allergic to protein. So the point is the immune system gets activated by protein. Most people with a professional degree actually know that, but most people in the lay community don't actually understand that. So we get a lot of patients that come in for, you know, intolerances to other, you know, sugars, and they think, oh, I've got an allergy to milk, right? Well, the key here is with FPIES, like all allergies, we're talking about protein, and we'll get more into that. So we don't care about the fat, we don't care about the sugar, assuming we were talking about those pure ingredients, okay? Enterocolitis, these kids act like they have inflammation of their bowels. So they vomit profusely, they have diarrhea, mucus, and blood in the stool. We'll get into that. And then lastly, syndrome is really, it's one of my favorite words because it's such garbage. Syndrome implies we know what we're doing, but really, syndrome really means we have no idea what we're doing, okay? Usually things like syndromes get resolved into diseases once we feel like, and then some egomaniac names it after themselves. So right now, this is basically code for we have no idea what this is. So again, food allergy is IgE mediated or not IgE mediated, but we're talking about the immune system specifically reacting to food, okay? And let's all make sure that we're distinguishing for our patients, probably not for most people in this room, this idea is there's other things that where food will make kids sick, okay? So, and you know, everybody uses this word intolerance, which is a very unregulated term. So let's keep it unregulated, okay? So food intolerances would include lactose intolerance, fructose intolerance, which is not really, those aren't really diseases. Those are the human body reaching the limits of what we can put in there, okay? And usually people have bloating, gas, and diarrhea, and then they feel better, okay? But not an immune reaction. Celiac disease is an immune reaction to food, specifically to gluten, but for semantic reasons, we're not going to call it allergy. That's a topic for another conversation. Invite an allergist to talk about that. But celiac disease, even though it is immune reaction to food, it gets its own special category, okay? And then lastly, of course, inborn errors of metabolism. You can get incredibly sick from dysregulation of your thermal capacity when you give somebody a food where the enzymes can't break it down, okay? So that's also not an immune reaction to food. So we're talking about IgE-mediated reactions and FPIES, okay? So IgE-mediated allergy, we know a lot about allergy, about IgE allergy, okay? We're talking about antigen exposures which basically trigger plasma cells to essentially...
Hey guys, thanks for watching. To continue, please log in or create an account for free. Thank you for your support.